Hi, I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and it's time for another Daily Diddy, giving you trial updates every day until there is a verdict. So, we're still waiting for some word from the courthouse right now, but I would guess that we should have a jury by the end of today. Yesterday, they had whittled it down to 45 potential jurors, and remember, we're looking for 12 jurors plus 6 alternates. So my guess would be, unless there's some major drama, we should have a jury by tonight. Based on the schedule that's been released, they'll probably take the day off tomorrow for both sides to work on opening statements, and then the trial will begin in earnest on Monday. However, there are a couple of updates that came out in the last couple of days that I definitely want to break down for y'all. But first off, I want to give you a quick disclaimer. So, disclaimer, I want to make a couple things clear. First off, I am not involved in the case in any way, shape, or form. This is me watching the daily updates and giving you my analysis based on what's publicly available, as well as my experience as a former prosecutor. I was a prosecutor in Miami for 16 years and was handling homicides and other serious cases. So, been in the courtroom, up, down, left, right, and center, have done all sorts of legal wrangling and maneuvering. So just wanted to kind of share my insights and break it down in a way that folks can easily understand, because a lot of times, the criminal justice system seems like, this big mystery, or you're relying on stuff that you've seen on television, which may or may not have anything to do with reality. So that's, just want to make sure everybody's clear on that. I am not involved in the case at all. I'm just an observer because I was a Diddy fan back in the day, not anymore. But one very interesting tidbit that's come out of the courthouse is that the prosecution may be having trouble with one of their survivors who would be testifying on the stand. Now, remember, there are 4 women that will be testifying for the prosecution about the abuse that they suffered at the hands of Diddy, one of them being Cassie Ventura, who, again, we've seen the video and all of that. So the other 3 women, we do not know their names. They're being referred to as, victim 1, victim 2, victim 3, like that. This is victim 3. And apparently the prosecution is having a hard time getting a hold of her attorney, as well as getting a hold of her, and they're not sure if she's even going to respond to the subpoena and come to court. Now, that's not a death knell for the case, because again, you've got the other 3 victims, and you also have somebody else that is a survivor, even though he's not charged. Even though Diddy isn't charged in that 5th person's case, in other words, they were a survivor, but they were not added to the indictment that the prosecution is proceeding with, because of the fact that the abuse that person suffered is so identical to what the other women have to say. This person is kind of brought in to basically show that this wasn't a one-off, that this was a plan, this was premeditated, this is basically a common plan or scheme. That's how we refer to it in the legal world. So again, this prosecution still has enough to go forward, but I know it's a little nerve-wracking from that perspective. It's possible that the survivor kind of freaked out because, again, you're going to be on the stand. She was saying about a week or so ago that she was going to use her real name, not a pseudonym. So maybe she got cold feet, freaked out. Again, being a survivor is very traumatic. So there's a lot of things that could be happening there. So we will see what comes out of court today, see if we finally have a jury, which again, I think we will. And I will be back tomorrow with more Daily Diddy. See you tomorrow. Bye.